So I've been thinking about this for a while. It just came back to my mind. So I'm talking about this subject on my walk and talk. So I want to speak on the police and our people, the indigenous Black American people, native to this country, our particular experience with law enforcement for like maybe 200 or 300 years now. I'm saying at least 200 years since they were created. And actually they say that the current police paradigm was created during, I think, was it antebellum times or after the war, and it was to basically harass the indigenous people, Black American people. They were supposedly catching our kidnapped people that were kidnapped and trying to bring them back into captivity. So just like the Ku Klux Klan, the police was originally set up to harass, detain, and put us back under the control of certain individuals and entities. Okay, I'll just say that. So just about every major riot that we have had in this country was the result of police brutality, murder, and just pure misconduct, where we could not get any justice from the courts from. They would kill our people unjustifiably, and it would be obvious. And just like today, witnesses and these cops would be, for the most part, exonerated. So the Detroit riots, the Watts riots, and then the LA riots in the early 90s, and so forth, all over the country, the result of us just being just at the end of our patience and just traumatized and fighting against this oppressive regime that was using the police force to antagonize us and commit racial terrorism. So they are definitely guilty of all of this and more. We know that whole police departments, particularly in Los Angeles and New York, I'm sure all over, have a major part in the proliferation of drugs into our community, turning their head at certain individuals, selling drugs to the people, and then arresting them for selling the drugs that they originally sold to them. Now, anybody who does not want to admit to that, you need to do your research and just see it for what it was. Because everybody from the CIA and down had everything to do with smuggling drugs into the United States of America. And we know, particularly in LA, that there was, I forgot, was he a police chief? I cannot think of his name. He came before Daryl, that racist demon that used to be the police chief in Los Angeles. But what I'm trying to remember about him, I don't remember his name, but I think he was the one who purposely sought out to hire known racist individuals with racist inclinations and ideas and feelings about particularly indigenous Black American people. So he purposely hired race soldiers to become police officers to keep up the racial terrorism against my people. So there's a lot to be said today. Murdering unarmed citizens. I could go through, I'm not going to go through the names. You all know. The recent murder of the lady with the pot of water. Sandra Bland. The young lady they murdered while she was asleep. The men, the brother in New York that was selling cigarettes and was choked out. All these cases, police being exonerated, or they're lying about how our people expired in these cases. So with that being said, there was a movement that started not too long ago, whereas people were talking about defund the police. They want to defund the police. They want to, in other words, if you defund the police, you limit their presence in the community. Okay? So I believe that this was definitely our people. I can understand us being fed up. But defund the police and the situation that we're dealing with in our communities, defunding the police is just not, it's just not the answer. It's just not. As angry as we are, as much as we hate the police, and we shouldn't trust them. It's justified. Our feelings are justified. As much as we are justified in how we feel about police, the courts, and yada yada, defunding the police is not the answer. And you know good and well, if something happens, who you gonna call? Who are you going to call? You're not gonna call the Fruit of Islam. You ain't gonna call the Hebrew Israelites. You're not gonna call the Moors, the Hoteps. You ain't gonna call on no Pan-Africans. You can't even call on the Crips and Bloods. Who you gonna call? You gonna call the police. We're in a state of economic, political, medical, etc., etc. We're POWs, prisoners of war. Okay? They have put us, all Americans really, everybody who comes here to America, in economic slavery. All right? So we're up under this oppressive force that has putting their foot on our neck in ways that you can't even imagine. But in order to survive it, we're going to have to compromise. Even though we are justified in how we feel, we're going to have to compromise how we allow those feelings to come out and be interpreted. In other words, we know we've been targeted for hundreds of years by the cops, so why me? Why you just come up to me and ask me if you can see my ID? Why I got to show you my ID? Now I'm resisting because my DNA is fed up dealing with you. My spirit, my energy is fed up with dealing with you. I'm resisting. I'm on the floor, and I'm either dead, incapacitated, or going to jail. When all you had to do is whip out that doggone ID. We have to survive. We have to go home to our mates and our children. Our family wants us to go home, our friends. You have a responsibility to the community. So no matter how angry you get and no matter how justified, you want to comply as much as possible. Don't forget, we're under siege. We are under siege in our own land, in our own country. It's just what it is. This is not the first time people have been oppressed like this. Maybe not to this extent, And it's not the last. Okay, it's just that this time it's us. So I want y'all to be safe out there. No, we can't defund the police. Sorry, not sorry. No defunding the police. We're gonna have to compromise and kind of like just listen and submit. Ain't no use in you fighting a powerful force that 9, 10 times out of 10 you're gonna be the one at a loss. You're gonna lose. Nobody wants to be able to sue somebody, or do we? I don't know. Be able to sue because of the cops and get a couple of $1 million, but our brother is dead. Our mom was murdered. Our teenage son was murdered. It's not worth it. I hope it's not worth it to you. So we're gonna have to teach our people to compromise and be and as much in compliance when we are dealing with cops as much as possible. Okay, so we got to do it. We got to control our emotions and our anger, no matter how hard it is, so we can get up and walk home. Walk home, cry, jump up and down, curse or whatever, get on up from there and go about your day again. Okay, peace. I love y'all.